Yeah, I mean, up to this point, I was never, let's put it this way, I was never, somebody explained to me, hey,
Okay.
look what happened.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And so now with that information, with the information that we just provided, and with the testing that we have under our belt thus far, can you see how it affects you at home?
Yeah, I can see
Good.
that.
Okay.
Okay, then John, when I'm being tested and he gives me the words, and it might be a little bit there too, because of his accent.
Yeah, and that's certainly part of it, okay?
And
But
too,
what's beautiful about that is me. Okay, I'm sitting here and I am the mediator. Okay, so what'll happen is yeah, that's right. Okay, so for example, I have patients that misread words all the time. Chief, for example, on one of these lists. I think it was the list that we had. Okay, no, it's down here. Either way, I have a ton of people that say chef. Okay, I'm here. I hear you say chef. And so if he repeats the word chef, not the word that's on the list, that's okay.
Right.
So if you give him, just like sin, okay, I thought he was saying sing, okay, but you were saying sing, which is that hard kind of E for the I with your accent. Well, that's okay, okay. I will hear that and I will put that down, okay. I know what we're hearing, okay. So right now, focusing on you, what I want to do at this point is, normally what I would do is put more noise into the mix and repeat the test. But I don't need to know that you're going to do worse than 50 to 60%. Okay, you're already missing more than a third to half of what's going on around you. So what I want to do is I want to see if we can improve upon it, if we can make sound more comfortable. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a pair of hearing aids for you. And we're going to put them in your ears, and we're going to repeat the test that we just did. Different words, but same situation. Nothing's changed, just different words. Okay? So hang tight for a second. Now, Nick, are you first generation here in the States?
Yes.
Yes. Fun. I spent 2 years in Brazil, and it was a lot of fun to go down there and spend that time there. But I didn't make it a permanent move, so I'm sure it's a little bit different. But
yeah, he came here when he was 19.
19. What brought you here?
Well, it was also the war in Greece.
Okay.
Nothing there.
Nothing there. Yeah. Well, that'll about do it. Yeah. Okay.
Now, on your hearing aids, do you give like a 30-day trial, or how do you?
In essence, and I'm going to explain that again. We're still we know that we can help, but the bigger question is whether or not the hearing aids are actually going to help. Okay, some people I put hearing aids in and it doesn't help, even though they've got a hearing loss, even though I know I'm giving them the appropriate sound to counteract the hearing loss. Some people just don't respond to the hearing aids, and so until I absolutely know that hearing aids are the appropriate route here.
They're so tiny.
Yeah, that's the direction they're going these days.
I mean, yours, you can't even see them. If we both need them, is it two for the price of one?
I wish I could do that.
Senior discount. Or
All right, so here we go. Now, Nick, let's talk about some realistic expectations here, okay? I'm about to put these hearing aids in your ears, okay? The first thing you will notice is that it feels like you got something stuck down to that. You're going to have something stuck down inside your ears, okay? The other thing you're going to notice right off the bat is they don't sound any different, and the reason is they're currently turned off, okay? Now, finally, hearing loss is that I am not giving you any of those power sounds. So when I turn it on, you're going to sit there and think to yourself, are they working? Okay, because it's not going to be a night and day, boom, big difference, okay, in sound or in volume. What you're getting is clarity. So what will happen is as we go and do this list again, what you'll notice is it's easier to distinguish what the words are. My hearing aids, my hearing loss is very similar to yours, okay? In essence, there are times I put my hearing aids on in the morning and don't even realize they're on. I have to reach up and scratch the microphones to verify they're working. That's because I'm not getting any power sound, just like you. Okay, the hearing aids aren't amplifying that power because you don't need it. But it is giving you that clarity, that detail and sound. So if anything, it may sound a tad on the tinny side. So here we go, turning on. Right off the bat, my voice is going to sound a little bit different. Not dramatically so, but it's going to sound a little bit sharper. A little bit, the S's are going to be sharper, okay? What I need you to do is go talk and listen to your own voice. So go through the days of the week and listen to your own voice. Go ahead.
It's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, like a
you hear your voice.
Microphone.
Yeah, exactly. The very first thing that people comment on with hearing aids is, gosh, I hear my own voice. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You hear your voice through two different directions inside of your head. Okay? The first is through your skull, and you actually hear your voice from inside your head. The other direction is through your ears. Sound comes out of your mouth, and it comes into your ears. Well, that's been damaged, and so you've heard yourself very differently for a long time. So when I reintroduce that sound, it's going to sound a little awkward. 9 times out of 10, by the time you leave my office, it doesn't even bother you anymore. Okay? At the very longest, maybe 5 days, that you'll notice that your voice is there. Okay? But over time, that just becomes very natural because your brain readjusts to hearing. Okay? Now, right now, you're only at about 67% of where you should be. You're not even at 100%. Okay? And you already notice the difference in sound. Okay? So, the standpoint is I want to take you up to that 100%. Now, when I do that, what's important to know is you're not going to do 100% on the test because I'm going to take you up to 100% in 2 minutes when it usually takes me 2 to 5 weeks to do that. Okay, it takes that much time to really adjust and acclimate to the sound. Okay, so I don't expect you to do perfectly, but what I'm going to look at, what I'm going to gauge is, well, one, whether we do more, get more words, is how comfortably you respond to the sound, to the words given. Okay, were you leaning forward? Are you working to get it like you were with that last test? Okay, so you kind of had to work with it. Some of them came out in the form of a question. Okay, so do we eliminate some of that? All right, so let me take you up to 100%. Now, I will never leave you, I will never start you at 100% because I need to allow your poor little brain time to adjust to the sounds given to you. Okay, so this is at 100%.
Now you're going to hear movement.
Yeah. These are sounds that are normal, that we all hear, but because you haven't heard them with the same clarity and fidelity, it's going to sound a little bit awkward to you. But again, that all becomes very natural. Okay?
And it doesn't even look like you have hearing aids then.
No, even the hands.
Yeah.
I can hear.
That's very, very normal. Now, again, as we adjust and as we start you off a little bit lower and sort of build you up, think strength training. I don't know if you've ever done strength training, but you never start, if I wanted you to lift at 200 pounds, I wouldn't just throw 200 pounds at you. I would start you at 20, then take you to 40, and then 50, and then 80, and then I just slowly creep you up there until you're good and comfortable doing 200 pounds. Same thing here. I've got to allow the ears some time to acclimate. For testing purposes, I got you at 100%. I'm not going to leave you here. I wouldn't start you here. Okay? But for testing, I want to see what we're doing. Okay? So we're going to do this list. Okay, the second list right here. So here we go. Just repeat what you hear.
Tax.
Tax.
Good.
Teeth.
Teeth.
Chase.
Chase.
Pot.
Hot.
Get that one again.
Pot.
Oh, pot. Okay.
All right, sorry, I'm not Fast.
Fast.
Chief.
Chief.
Feet.
Feet. Space.
List.
List.
Wow. How did that feel? You went from...
More clear.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's more clear.
Only one had to be...
You missed
Pot.
one word. Okay.
Maybe that was me. of the
That-
pot.
Either way, that's very encouraging. And I didn't expect you to do 100%. What's encouraging is you recognize it right off the bat. Wow, it's more clear. Okay? That's a big step in the right direction. Okay? Now, I do have one more test. And for me, being a hearing aid wearer myself, I think this test is probably the more, I don't want to say the most realistic test. All the tests are pretty realistic. But what I like about this test is it's more real world. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to have Dottie read you a question. And all you have to do is answer the question. So if she says, do we own a dog? You'll say yes or no. Okay? But with each question, we're going to get further and further away. We're going to go for a little bit of a walk. Okay? Now, the idea behind this is me being married. I've been married 10 years. I've got 4 children under the age of 7. When my wife yells down the stairs, I need to be able to hear her and respond to her. Okay? This is kind of the same concept. I don't expect you to have a conversation at a good long distance, but I want you to be able to hear her and respond to her comfortably. Okay? So you stay right there, okay? And we're going to come.
Ainsley says, "Papu."
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start right here in the doorway, okay? And the questions are right here, and with each question, I'm just going to have you move around. I'm going to stay here in the doorway so I can hear what his responses are. So start right there.
What did you have for breakfast?
Breakfast.
See, I got to remember that.
All right, why don't you take a bow? So,
Come on, it's you.
what did you have for breakfast?
Breakfast, I had
Juice and coffee and.
yeah. What was the normal day?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so I want you to take about 3 steps backwards, okay, and ask that second question.
Do you prefer coffee or tea?
Coffee.
All right, back to
What is your favorite color?
My favorite color? I don't have a favorite color.
Okay. To the corner. All right, there's good.
I hear you clear.
All right, stay right there. Stay right there. Come here, Nick. I want to show you how far away she is, okay?
It doesn't have to scream, eh?
No, she wasn't screaming. She was
Because it doesn't have to scream.
doesn't have to scream. What
Bye.
what do you think of that?
Yeah.
Okay, if you were at home at that distance, first of all, if you were in the kitchen, how far away would you be, Dottie? No, but I mean, if he were in the kitchen, where would you be in the house?
Usually he's in the family room and I'm in the kitchen. We're about this.
Oh, that's right. At times, yeah. Okay. So the big question here is Nick, and you can sit right here, Nick. We're good.
He
We're
probably
good.
hasn't noticed it as much because we're often very close together. Right?
Okay. Well, and even so, what I want to know from you is Dottie, what would it mean for you to be able to communicate with him as easily as you have been doing today during our test?
Well, that would be great, but the most important thing to me is for him to be able to hear things.
Absolutely,
and
that's the follow-up question. But again, now I'm going to take you down in volume here next, just a second. Okay. What's important here is you both live together, and communication is a two-way road. Okay. So I always ask you as well because you want to be able to converse with him just as well as he wants to be able to hear you and hold a conversation with you. So the question is again, if you could communicate with him more easily, okay, with greater comfort, knowing that he's most likely going to hear you, what would that mean to you?
That would be great.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's just notice something. Okay, there's a conversation here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the first, very little noise in the first.
Okay. Now.
Because he has you up so high.
Well, actually, I took him down a little bit, but here's the thing. You've been in them all of about 10 minutes. And remember, 99% of hearing aids is adaptation. The hearing aids are a tool.
Yeah.
And you have to think of treating hearing loss as more or less consistent, constant physical therapy. He always left his office in more pain than they went into his office. Okay? And that confused me because personally, I thought the idea was not to have pain anymore. Okay? And what he taught me was that, he gets a patient that's injured their knee. and they've lost mobility. And his job is to get them that mobility back, but at the same time to reduce the pain and so forth, okay? Well, that takes work, and that takes effort, okay? And that takes exercise. The difference between physical therapy and what we're doing is that with physical therapy, eventually it heals. And my dad doesn't have to see that patient anymore. In this instance, it doesn't heal. I don't have the ability to heal what's broken. What I have to do is aid what's broken, help it, okay, so that the rest of the system stays healthy, okay, or as healthy as surgically fix the cochlea. There's no pill to pop to help us to hear better. The only thing we have right now to provide the help that you need, hearing aids, are the tool to provide that stimulation. The question is which tool is most appropriate for you? With your hearing loss, the style that you're wearing is most appropriate for you. So what that looks like, we can change the color and things, but ultimately an over-the-ear hearing aid is going to be the best option because I need to keep your ear as open as possible. So I don't want to go sticking big pieces of plastic inside of your ear, okay? I want the ear to be as open as possible, and so we're going to keep it that style, okay? When I look to recommend a hearing aid to anybody, I think of three things. First and foremost, dexterity. How hard is it going to be for you to manage the hearing aid, okay? So if I take off my hearing aid and I show you this battery in here, is that something that you're going to be able to manipulate? Okay, are you okay working with smaller things?
I am.
Okay, then we don't need to worry about that. That's the same style that you're going to have, so we should be okay. The second thing I worry about and think about is lifestyle. When we choose the appropriate tool for your treatment, it's based more on lifestyle than anything else, okay? What the hearing aid looks like is determined by your hearing loss. How the hearing aid functions is determined by how often you're in a noisy environment, how often you're in trying to communicate through noise. If that's a whole lot, then we have to have a hearing aid that can cope with that. If it's here and there, well, then we don't need so much. If it's, I'm predominantly at home in a nice quiet environment and I don't have a lot of noise to cope with, then we don't need
No, every day you're with the guys and they talk really loud, right?
Yeah. And this one will be too loud to listen
Well,
to.
what you would be surprised is as you go through and adjust to the sound, and as you do what I tell you to do, and as you go through the process, it's not going to feel loud. It will initially, but the brain adjusts to it, and what you'll notice is you'll have clarity. Okay.
Well, I've noticed, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're aiming for. We don't want to ignore that. Okay. If I come down here, go back to your test, wherever I put it. There we go. Okay. If I go back to your test here, okay, remember, you're not getting all that booming volume. What you're getting is clarity. And that's go to the restroom, it's Niagara Falls. Okay. These are very normal observations at the beginning. But what happens is as the brain readjusts to hearing those sounds, it becomes normal. Okay? So I just start you real nice and easy, and then I slowly just give you a little bit more. And what that does is that allows the brain to adjust, and at the end, you're at 100%, you're hearing very comfortably, and you have the clarity that you need to hear like we heard today.
Now you make the adjustments on the computer?
I can do it here, okay? I can also give you control over some of those adjustments from a volume control on your hearing aids. But when you come into my office, I make the adjustments here. So today, that's what I've been doing. Wirelessly, my hearing aid is now, or your hearing aids are now talking to my computer, okay? And I can make adjustments. When you come in, that's how I do it. I just log into your hearing aids and I do what I need to do on it, okay? So that you're comfortable. So the question is what is your lifestyle like? To help me to determine what is most appropriate for you from a hearing aid standpoint, I need to have a greater understanding of your lifestyle. Okay. Now you're shaking your head no. Give me an idea why you're shaking your head no.
Right now, is the volume, first of all, is high.
Okay, so let's turn it down.
I'm not interested, and up to this point, conversation maybe not correct, but I have no problem with the conversation.
Okay, so I guess I'm confused a little bit. Okay, my confusion is you just said is inaccurate. Okay.
Well, no. I came in and I know the difference right now.
Okay.
Down the road, if I take them off tomorrow, next day, next week or next month,
Okay.
then I realize, should I go back with the on it, or keep, without him, do it without him? Only then I will realize, because all this time I didn't know anything better than that.
Okay. So let me make sure I understand what you're saying. So you're saying, okay, if I understand correctly, you're not 100% sure that it will benefit you, and
yeah,
you want the option that if it doesn't benefit, is that more or less?
It's not a benefit. Now I know the difference. Have him on and not have him on.
Okay, we just did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I know the difference.
Right.
But I won't go back for a while without him. Then I can judge.
But to do that, don't you think you have to maybe wear them for a little bit first, and then, because for the short time that you had them on, you're not going to be able to determine what it's like in another environment.
I guess I'm sort of confused as Nick, to your logic. Okay, the testing that we did today was a comparison exactly to what you're describing.
Yeah.
Okay, I tested you without back to what I said right after we did this test. Okay, I can't help you if you don't recognize there's an issue. Okay, in other words, I'm going to be very blunt. If you are in denial.
I didn't say it.
Nope, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm saying is.
I came in, know nothing about the hearing aids.
Right. Okay.
I put them on.
Mm-hmm.
But now I know the difference.
You know the difference in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
Okay. You have not yet worn them out in the real world. You have not yet gone through the rehabilitation process. Okay. Just throwing them on is not the answer. Okay. There are practices out there that would throw the hearing aids on and shoot you out the door, and they're just happy you bought hearing aids and that's the end of it. And they might see you back. Okay? That's not how we operate, because we recognize that we are trying to manage the nervous system to get adjusted to that sound. So in 5 minutes here in the office, or 15 minutes here in the office, that is insufficient time to have a true understanding of where the hearing aids, of how the hearing aids can help you. You cannot rely on just here in the office.
Well, so I don't want to come in the office and say, okay, put the hearing aids on, and I walk out. No, I won't do that either.
Okay, again, I'm confused. Okay, if coming from where I am,
yeah.
Okay, my perspective here. Okay, John, I want to hear better. Help me to hear better. So we get that hearing aid, and out you go. Okay, so in 2 weeks, I would fit you with the hearing aids. I would set you up probably at about 33%. At 33%, the following 2 weeks, not a huge difference. You'll notice a couple of core differences, but nothing substantial. Sharper. Things are going to be a little bit clearer. Sounds like that are going to be pretty potent, okay, for the first week or so. But then it becomes more comfortable, and almost inevitably, 2 weeks after that second appointment, you come in and say, John, I need more. That's when you notice that, holy smokes, I'm hearing things. That process takes a month. It takes an entire month for me to get you adjusted to the hearing aids. I am, in essence, giving you the exercises found that you should be hearing. Okay? Now, at roughly 4 to 6 weeks, so 2 weeks into that, I've been wearing them at 100%, and you come back to me and say, John, I don't notice a lick of difference. Then what I say is, because 1 out of 15 times I choose the wrong hearing aids. I'm infallible. I'm not infallible, rather. I make mistakes. I get the wrong thing. So we try something a little bit different. But in the end, if you percent of your money back, okay, and that allows you to go home and put them to test appropriately, to go through the process.
I'm not ready to put a hearing aids on.
And give me an idea as to why. Because, and the reason I want to know is so that I can set up a game plan to help you in the future, okay? Because when I'm looking down here, okay, my confusion is most people that improved as much as you have are dying to get into a pair of hearing aids so that they can hear better, so that they can understand their spouse better, so they can understand their grandchildren better, so they can hear in those environments more comfortably, just like you experienced today. Okay, so I need to understand that because, one, I might have missed something. I might not have explained it very well, and I want to be able to help. Okay, but if I don't know what the concern is, I can't help.
Well, let's put it this way. I'm 78 years old.
Okay.
I have no problem to this point.
Okay. So what you are telling me is that you do not recognize that there is a problem as we tested it today.
I mean, this is not... I mean, I recognize the difference, but I'm not to the point to say I need him.
Okay, now that's a key statement.
Yeah.
You're not ready.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm not ready.
I want to help you.
I understand.
Okay. No, and let me put this to you as concisely as I can. Okay. I want to help you, but it's very difficult to help somebody who's not ready. Okay, and that's not saying it's a negative. Okay, all I'm saying is that let's say I could talk you into it. Let's say I'm one of those guys that could talk an Eskimo into a refrigerator. Okay, let's say I could get you ready for it. You're going to bring it back, and to me that's not a good option because you bring it back to me, you return the hearing aid, and from henceforth and forever you have made the decision that hearing aids won't work for you. So in the future, when you're hearing aids, you won't get them. And I don't want you to do that. What I'm going to leave you with right now is I have no objection. Well, no, let me rephrase. I have lots of objections to you not getting the help that you need. Okay? But that's my recommendation. Okay? So you need to know that you're leaving here knowing full well that I said you need them. Okay?
I heard it.
Good. But that also means that later on down the road, when you're starting to notice that things are problematic, you'll know where to go. You'll know that there is help over the horizon. Okay, does that make sense? That if you tried it and you kept a very open mind and you wore it and you did what I told you to do, that you would be surprised as to what you're missing. Okay? But I'm not going to force you into that. Okay? I know I want you to get that Dottie wants you to get the help that you need. Okay? That family and friends want you to get you the help that you need.
It's my choice.
But it is your choice.
Yeah, it's your choice.
Okay.
But I don't want your hearing to deteriorate any
Right.
more than it has.
And that's the most important thing. Okay? These numbers change. Okay? This is going to change no matter what I do.
Probably yes.
Okay. No, but what I'm saying is this is going to change no matter what I do. With or without hearing aids, your hearing loss is going to get worse. As you get older, that's just the nature of things. Okay? But that's easy. This is the easy stuff. Okay? All I do is tell the hearing aid that your hearing loss got worse, and boom, we're fixed. Okay? If this goes down, I can't get it back. Okay? So I'm going to put it to you from a cost-benefit analysis. Okay? Right now, when I test somebody, I don't charge for it. Excuse me. Okay? But let's say 2 years down the road, you come in and say, John, I'm struggling. And she's going, you got to help him. He can't hear. And I test you in that. Okay, Nick, I don't want you to think that I'm upset at you. Okay? I had
a grandfather and grandmother that died 105. They had their own teeth. They had all the never problem about, hearing. My mother died 99 years old. Her hearing was good. In my family, I don't know. I don't know anybody who is, had a problem with hearing. Yeah, they lose a little bit, but they don't lose completely.
Well, and that's okay, and that's a very valid point. You're never going to lose your hearing completely. With this hearing loss, your lows are probably going to be until you die, okay? But your high frequency clarity, remember, 30%, 70%, and 70%.
I'll repeat it twice, 3 times.
Okay. Well, and you know, that's what will happen.
Yeah.
You will start to ask people to repeat and repeat and repeat. And what happens with that is, and I want you to go out of here with as much information and understanding as possible, okay? Because this is the same understanding that I do. The reason people suffer the way they do with hearing loss generally isn't because they have the problem. Well, let me rephrase. It's not generally because they recognize the problem. We become less active because you don't want to go out and, whether it's martyrdom or whether it's victimization, self-victimization, you don't want to put people or yourself through the fact that you have to ask people to repeat themselves. This is very common. This is what I see on a day-to-day basis. Okay? Can I guarantee that it's going to happen to you? No. Is the problem, and that's what I'm trying to combat. Okay? So you've got a ton of information. Okay? I've given you a lot to really stew on and think about. Okay? I'm going to give Dottie instructions to sort of hammer it home with you at home. Okay? I want her to be clear with you how she feels about it as well.
And when a niece is talking to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't help if you're not ready. I want to. That's okay. But you know where I'm coming from. Okay.
I understand. Like I said, it's my.
I have to schedule time for you to come back, my dear. Okay. My final question is what is it in your mind that will make you ready?
There's a people, friends of mine, they have hearing aids.
Okay.
They can still not hear.
Okay.
So.
And that.
I seen them.
Okay.
And I said, okay, if they cannot hear with the hearing aids on, why would I be, okay, yeah.
Okay.
I understand.
So let's talk about that. I want you to understand that, and that's getting to a core of an issue here. Okay, I can help with that. Not knowing what their hearing loss is, I can't speak to them because I've never met them. At least I don't think I have, and I don't know what they are. Okay. If they have a hearing aid, and this is 50%, that's all they're going to hear is 50% of what comes into them. Okay? So even though they have a hearing aid, by you waiting, is to be like your friends who have hearing aids but can't hear. Okay? Because this is more important than this. Now, they might have very high understanding of sound, but if their hearing aids are set up inappropriately, they're not going to get the volume they need. Okay? So there's a ton of variables there. But that's why I'm really good at what I do. Because I won't allow that to be the case. This is when people struggle with their hearing aids. Generally, it's because they have an unrealistic expectation. Okay? So they think that they should hear 100% of the world around.
I don't think so.
No, Christina would string them up.
The difference is I can't get you to 100%. I can't get you to, some people walk out of here thinking that they're going to have bionic hearing. I can't do that, okay? If you're a religious person, Nick, I can't compete with God. Explain that to you is let's just say, let's use the example of an amputee, somebody that's lost a leg, okay? In essence, the hearing aids are a prosthetic, okay? That's what they are. I can't fix the problem. I can't replace the cochlea, but I can help it, okay? So a prosthetic leg is the same thing, okay? If I want to be mobile and I've lost a leg, I'm going to need a prosthetic. And there are about 1 million different prosthetics out there, okay? I'm going to get the one that's best for me, and I'm going to get it. And for the first month, 2 months to 3 months, however long, that's going to be real awkward for me because I've got to relearn how to walk on that prosthetic. Now, if I choose a wheelchair over that leg, that prosthetic leg, that's my choice, but I won't be as mobile. Okay? And so if your friends chose the wrong hearing aids for them, they're not going to be able to hear as well. That's why I focus on getting what's right. I focus on what's going to help you so that I can get you walking again, so to speak. Okay? But that takes a certain level of trust. It takes a certain level of you sitting there going, I need the help. Okay? So that's it. Okay? I wanted to cover that because you brought up a very good point. Okay?
And then tell me, how much are these hearing aids?
So if I were to look at a pair of hearing aids for you, Nick, based on your lifestyle as I know it to be, you'd be looking at about $4,595 for a pair of hearing aids. That's right down the middle. Okay? We have units that go as high as $5,595. That may be a little bit much for your particular lifestyle. Again, not knowing all of the details of your lifestyle.
It's pretty active.
So my recommendation is always going to be the higher the technology, the better, the more comfortable it'll be. In a quiet environment, all of them will sound pretty much the same. Okay. The question is how comfortable do you want to hear in a noisy environment? And that means we need to look at a tool, look at a hearing aid that is appropriate to your lifestyle. Okay. I wear a pair of $6,500 pair of hearing aids because I have 4 children under the age of 7, and I am never in a quiet environment. Okay. And so I have to be able to cope with the environments that I put myself into. I'm a scoutmaster, so I'm around a lot of Boy Scouts, and I'm around all that noise. Okay. So I'm a very active individual, and I need the hearing aids that can cope with that level of activity.
What do? Adjust themselves?
They just adjust themselves to manage the environment. They provide better clarity and noise. Okay. And so that's what it comes down to there. Okay. For you, I would probably focus on either that's an I-70 or I-90 hearing aid. Okay. And I'm going to give this to you because I still want you to have it so you can review it and look at it. Okay. So the best thing for you would be the 4595. That's this one right here. That's the I. Now, what I don't know is how much of your insurance covers that. Okay. If you want to leave me a copy of your insurance card, I can have our insurance folks
The numbers
look
are on
into it.
there.
I'll have them look into it.
I don't even know if they cover.
Roughly 20% of my patients these days have some type of hearing aid benefit. It used to be about 80%, but with all the healthcare law changes, that's sort of the repercussions there. But that's what it would be. We'll call this the better option and the best option.
It's not the price.
No, I understand that, but I want you to be.
I know. I'm interested in.
Understand it. Okay, so I'm going to give you this, okay, just so you guys can read over it, and this will give you a good idea as to what hearing aid I'm recommending, which is what you have on your head. Okay, it talks about the different styles and stuff. From a style standpoint, what he's got on is what I'd recommend. Okay, and the likelihood is I'm anticipating that you're going to have a very similar hearing loss if there's a hearing loss. Okay, because you're not missing a beat with me. Okay. So if there's a hearing loss, it may be a high-frequency hearing loss, and so we'd probably be looking at a very similar style. Okay, so that's the cart before the horse, but just to let you know, that's about where it would be. Okay, so Nick, don't be frustrated with me. Okay, I just want you to have as much information as possible.
I appreciate it.
Now, let's see, that's yours, Dottie. This is Nick. This is yours. So. The last thing, now let me disconnect you from the world here a little bit, so I'm just going to pop these out. And so, okay. Now, what you'll notice is things just feel a little on the dull side. Okay, that's what I noticed. Now, when I took these out, you were only at 33%, and I told you that's not a whole lot of volume there. Okay. Now.
You notice a big difference in they're off.
It's more of a tone.
Yeah.
Down, that's all.
Yes. It's toned down. It's dull. Okay? And that dullness is what ultimately you're missing. Okay. So the last thing is the same reason you've come in and were tested by me. Okay, is the same reason we reach out to everybody to be tested, is to educate and help you to understand what's going on around you. Okay. If you have a hearing loss, then we talk about it. If you don't, then like I said at the beginning, I'll give you a big hug and shoo you out the door. What we're trying to do is we're trying to reach out to as many people as possible to come in and to learn about their hearing. And so we're asking all the people that come into our office that if they happen to know somebody that is over the age of 55 and has not been tested in recent memory, that would come in and have them tested. Okay. So if you're willing, I would love for you to give me a few names. I'll reach out to them and invite them in for a free test. If you've got a phone number, that would be great, and then just let me know whether or not it's okay to use your name. Some people don't like that idea. So it's
I
entirely
could even talk to them about it.
Okay.
I have no problem. I don't know anybody else. Do you?
No, but on the other hand, I would not put somebody's names down because I don't know how they're going to act. Sometimes people can tell it's not your business.
And if Ross said once he's probably like you. You don't want me to put his name down?
If you want to talk to them, fine. But I'm not going to,
Can I give him the
Yeah,
card?
I can give you a card. That's not a problem.
Why don't I do that?
All right. KOLOCUR. IS. Okay. And then what we can do is I will have my office manager reach out to you tomorrow morning to set up your appointment to come in. Okay.
Okay.
And certainly, Nick, you're welcome to come along for that one just as well, because familiar voice to test her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can hear my voice.
Yeah, she'll.
I'm going to mumble.
Okay. So.
Tell no.
Okay. All right. So, where am I? I'm in Penn Hills. Can you believe it's the 24th?
I know. Did you know Dr. Blank is up the street?
I don't. I've been here. I've been in Pittsburgh all of since September.
Oh, really?
Okay. So I'm a recent transplant to the area. So I'm still learning my way around. Okay.
Where did you come from?
Central Pennsylvania, Harrisburg area. I grew up in Carlisle, but I was working as a regional director in the Lancaster area. And so that's my wife's from Chicago, so coming to Pittsburgh is like coming home. She's happy with being in more city dwelling. I grew up in a rural town, so I'm still getting my sea legs, so to speak, and everything's so close and packed in, it seems. So it's not that bad. I'm happy with Pittsburgh. We're up in
friendly.
Yeah, we're friendly drivers. That I did not expect that. I expected all city drivers to be mean drivers, but Pittsburgh drivers, you guys let us in. If you're sitting at trying to get into traffic, you'll stop and let us in. That doesn't happen elsewhere.
Well, you still have some idiots.
Well, of course. If I ever could become independently wealthy, I've made the decision that I'm going to fund a series of public service announcements on TV on how to drive properly. But that's just me. Okay.
Well, you should drive down Florida. You know how if you're coming off a ramp and you're driving, somebody else is driving down 95. Neither one has the right of way.
Good. I'm going to put down a 1-year test for you. Okay, I want to keep an eye on you yearly. Now, out of personal policy, I do generally like to call you within about 24 or 48 hours in the event that certain questions come up. The likelihood is by the time you get out to your car, you're going to think of a couple of questions that you wish you would have asked me. Okay, so I'll reach out to you in a couple of days just to touch base with you to see if there's any questions. I'm not going to try to get you to buy hearing aids over the phone. If anything, I'll just. What is the best time to call you? Nick?
Anything, just any time of the day.
Anytime of the day.
Tomorrow we have an appointment, so.
I will probably call you on Friday or Saturday. Okay.
Okay, well, we can always get back to you.
Other than a couple of appointments, not.
Yeah, tomorrow we have an appointment, and then we're going to dinner. So.
Okay. Well, this has been a longer appointment than usual, but you have provided a lot of good questions, so I appreciate that, Nick. I like it better when people are engaged in this process and want to understand it, so I don't mind spending the extra time with you. But I want you to give this some real super serious thought, okay? Put that on top, those tests that are the studies are, I'm going to attach that so you can read that those at your own leisure, okay? Your test is also provided, I got that on there, and then if you remember to do that, you can certainly write it down and just call us. You can certainly just call the front desk and say, hey, I've got some names for you. Okay. Do you have any questions for me right off the bat?
Okay.
Yeah, anything that's come up as we've discussed things?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'll tack that on at the end.
And you said somebody will call me.
Yeah, so what I will do is I will have Annette call you tomorrow morning to set up that appointment for you. And I apologize that we did not get to you today.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, I didn't realize, because when she said 5 o'clock, I didn't know if you were here till later.
I'm the late night and weekend guy. I work Wednesdays through Saturdays, and I jump to all of the various offices. And so, that's sir. Okay. And so this is my late night, so this is fine. As a matter of fact, I get to go home a little early today.
Really?
Which is fun. But given that you've been here 2 hours, I don't want to get you too sick and tired of my face just as of yet. Okay, so that's also yours. Okay, and then I have a flag for you apparently. Okay.
Okay.
It's your gift for coming in. Apparently.
Flag and steak?
Well, we're not going to give you steak. We're going to give you a gift card to go buy your own steak. Okay. I
won't ask for another one when I come back.
we can if you'd like one. I don't know what you do with 2 American flags, but you can certainly have the one we have for you. So come on out.